Alright fellas, check this out. It's got a blower system on it right there. That made 568 horse and 530 pound-feet of torque. We're going to do something that's a little bit different on this blower kit right here, and we're going to pick up a bunch of boost without changing the pulley. 07 Corvette, manual transmission, pretty basic. Got cam, headers, and a blower kit. Now we're making about 7.5 pounds of boost, and this has a restrictor in it, so they're actually kind of choking down the blower. They keep the same pulley on it regardless, but we're going to find the restrictors. Alright, so we'll pull this guy apart and it should be in here. Alright, so we pull this guy off and this is our restrictor right here. We're going to probably take this guy out, I don't know, probably about 4 or 5 millimeters all the way around, and we should be able to pick up a couple pounds of boost. Now, that does seem like a small filter to be able to supporting that, but again, they're doing all the work with the pulley. So we're going to get this guy and make a little marking right there all the way around, radius it, and we'll cut it up. Alright, this is less than the ideal scenario here. We tried to stick it on the inside right there, and it will not hold to. There you go. Woo! Got her. Alright.
Perfect.
Well, let's try that out. I'm going to say 2 pounds of boost. Okay. All right, so place your bets. I'm guessing 2 pounds of boost. What do you think? All right, so I didn't even look at the boost, but I looked at the power and we made way more than I thought we were gonna make. So, as you might have seen, it puffs some black smoke there. I had an okay timing curve for that amount of boost, assuming we're gonna pick up 2 pounds. All right, so we made a ton more than I thought. We literally almost just picked up, we picked up 90 wheel horsepower right here. I think we probably picked up like 3 pounds of boost. That's pretty rowdy. So we're gonna need to retard some timing and add a little bit of fuel, but wow. I was just hoping for a solid 50 gain, and hey, we got 90. Well, maybe 5 millimeter was too much. I think you'll like it though. So guys, when I asked this question, I was specifically talking about superchargers. Now, turbochargers are a whole different animal, and we will talk about that in just a moment. However, let's get down to talking nerdy here. So what we're doing here is we are effectively increasing the engine's volumetric efficiency, and that is a fancy word for how efficiently it fills a cylinder. Well, what a supercharger does is it goes above and beyond what that engine can naturally aspirated inhale. That's where boost comes in. But when we're increasing boost, we are effectively increasing the volumetric efficiency. Now the supercharger in itself is an air pump, and we have another air pump, so we're trying to pump more from this into that. If we can decrease the restriction on the inlet or outlet of this air pump, then this air pump will have more. So oftentimes with the positive displacement superchargers that we work with a lot, the LSAs and the LS9 superchargers, the LT4 superchargers, anything we can do to decrease any sort of restriction on there, meaning we're going to put a larger throttle body or a super large 5-inch intake on there, anything of that nature is going to decrease any possible restriction whatsoever there into that supercharger. It is screaming for as much air as it can possibly intake in order to compress, make more boost on the engine. Now, a turbocharger works a little bit differently here. Since it has a wastegate, it's technically supposed to regulate the boost. Now, you put an intake on it or you put an exhaust on it, the boost can go up a little bit. However, I had an experience a long time ago when I was like 18 years old and I pulled the exhaust system off my dad's Cyclone, and the boost went from like 15 pounds to like 21 pounds. It was a major increase in boost, and what had happened was basically the exhaust was corking up and limiting how much boost it could make, so it was slowing down the turbine. And when you took and alleviated that back pressure right there, the turbo was really able to spool a lot faster and generate a lot more airflow. So it works a little bit differently with the turbo, but really interesting stuff, and effectively just helping your air pump breathe a little easier on the inlet. Now on the flip side here, in terms of efficiency, boost isn't everything. Whenever you have any sort of supercharged vehicle like that and you increase the exhaust flow, you're typically going to see a loss of boost, but you are still going to gain power. See, boost is merely a measure of backup of pressure.
And the better that air pump is moving air naturally aspirated, the better it's going to do with the blower or turbo on it. All right, guys, check out this next segment. I hope you'll enjoy. What's going on, fellas? I have got a absolute treat here for you. This is a really radical Jeep here and right up Laz's alley. In fact, Laz was actually off today and he came to work just to check this thing out. Right here, Laz all nerding out of this thing, and this is the owner here. This is Josh. And you came from the other side of the country, so you're here to get this thing retuned. Yeah. Had a couple little issues here. We're going to go ahead and try and knock them out, but let's dig into what this thing is. You got a 416 in this, actually, yes, right?
Yeah, Mass Motorsports 416 with LS3 heads. I got Cook's headers, 6L90 stage 2 transmission, and just a few other goodies. Yeah.
And it's on 42s.
42s, yep, right now.
Pretty.
This part sound familiar.
Yeah, I mean, this is a baller setup, really. When you say Mass Motorsports, I was like, ching! As soon as I heard that, you know, I was like, wow. But LS3 heads, whole nother level, 102mm throttle body. This thing should put down a lot of power and pretty much do just about whatever you want. Now, Laz is taking a little bit of a different approach, definitely substituting inches for the supercharger. That's going to be pretty sick, but I guess your challenge is going to be trying to get yours to stay cool, but we'll address that when we get there. But what do you think about this thing so far, man?
Well, this was done by Adam Denton at Denton Off-Road, and that was his builds are kind of a litmus on like what I want to do.
I know you've been contacting him a whole bunch.
Yeah, I've got his parts. I got his motor mounts, his tranny mount, and some other stuff from him. He's got a little white two-door with a 427 with a 3-liter blower, I think, on it. It's like 1,000 horse. Jeez. He's going out Hoonigan and doing burnouts and going out the sand dunes with paddle tires and just ripping it. It's definitely something I was going after, so I'm like, that's the person I need to talk to.
Yeah. But that looks like cubic money right there, yeah.
Just see dollar signs there.
You're like, yeah, that cost a lot, yeah.
It did, yeah. Yeah, this is the Evo double throwdown front suspension. I got the axles are Dynatrac XD 60s in the front and 80 in the rear. But yeah, Evo suspension, so double throwdown in the front and then Evo lever in the rear. It's a cantilever suspension.
Yeah, did you look at the rear?
No, I didn't.
It's pretty crazy looking.
Should almost get on the dyno so you can just see it better.
Yowzers. That is a lot of stuff.
But it's all up out of the way and safe.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's something that you're kind of thinking about a whole lot.
So I can walk underneath it and look.
All right, let's get it on the dyno here. Last few minutes here, I've been actually working on the base tune here, so I think that we're going to be able to pick up a pretty decent amount of power, get the drivability really good. And since it's come across the country, the climate is a little bit different from, well, Washington to Florida and elevation and such. Things have changed a little bit. That's really a common thing that a lot of people have to deal with. Retuning wise is relocation and stuff. Hopefully you can find a good tuner wherever you may go, but I think this thing is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I can't wait to rip it a little bit later, but let's get it optimized. Yeah, I can see where that four-wheel steer would come in handy. Dude, look how wide that thing is. They're like 2 inches wider than the dyno, both sides. Yeah, straight back, man. All right, so all that idle issues and stuff right there, that's kind of what we're trying to fix. Get the fueling right, get a lot better throttle response out of it. Definitely believe we should be able to make a giant difference in that. Yeah, his Jeep's been down a year. Proper Jeep sound. All right, so we're using HB tuners for both the scanner and the tuning portion of this. And I believe last time he dynoed this thing, it didn't have these tires on it. And if you guys have watched us for any amount of time, we're very frequently talk about rotational mass, unsprung weight. It makes a gigantic difference in power. So you could have 1,000 horsepower at the motor, but if you got some big heavy wheels and tires like this, it's just gonna gobble up that power. All right, those two pulls right there, that was 347 and 354 in both second and third gear. Air fuel looks pretty decent. This is off of the base tune, And we're gonna try and get the air fuel just tweaked just a little bit, but it doesn't look like it has a lot of timing. So back to the rotational mass thing. You can have all the strength and be really, really quick, but if you strap 5 pounds to your shoes, you're gonna slow down. So that's basically like taxing your body, taxing what this is right here. And in other words, it's kind of like you make X amount of money, and then you have taxes, and then that's your take home. So don't have a lot of timing right there. We're gonna try and add some, see if we can get this thing to rip a little bit harder here. It looks like we're kind of maxing out the fuel system a little bit. Now this thing has a 340 liter per hour pump, and it has stock LS3 42 pound an hour injectors, which doesn't seem like that's crazy big. However, on an LS7, we can make about 630, 640 wheel horsepower before maxing this out. So what that's telling me is that if we are in fact that close to maxing this out, this engine is making incredible power, but it does support the hypothesis that we're eating up a whole bunch because of the wheel, tire, all the drivetrain just eating up all the power. Oh, shaking. It's like up in the nosebleed section up here. All right, so the Jeeps have this weird strategy there for third gear. Starting to initiate that shift right there. Air fuel looks a little bit better on that right there. We're gonna go ahead and do some more tweaking with a few things. But we gotta push this beast a lot harder still. Alright, so still got tire monitor stuff working. You have this, which has all sorts of different data on it. Unfortunately, I'm just plugged in right there, so you don't have that at the moment, but got some pretty neat stuff going on. All right, so we finished with about 368 wheel, and obviously the drivetrain is eating up a ton of power, but this thing should rip pretty good. Let's go up and down the road real fast, make sure you like the shift points and all that. Guys, this was a very, very impressive Jeep, and this really kickstarted Laz and motivated him a lot more to get a lot of stuff done with this Jeep. He has been making a whole lot of progress, but I haven't really been producing the content here. So that is more on me, but we will get you caught up on Laz's project here pretty shortly. I've got a lot of footage to go over, and he's getting very, very close. You can also check out some of our Instagram that has some later shots, and you can also follow @LazNat. I want to say God bless you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next episode.